Carson Wentz traded from the Philadelphia Eagles to the Indianapolis Colts. And Carson Wentz, he was obviously the second pick overall a few seasons ago for the Philadelphia Eagles. With the Eagles, they drafted Jalen Hurts last season. Another year last year, Carson Wentz struggled. And that was the end of them. Indianapolis, they needed a quarterback. Phillip Rivers retired. And it's a good deal, in my opinion, for the Colts here. They get Carson Wentz. I don't think his career is over. I think a change of scenery with a new head coach and everything is going to be good for Carson Wentz. And they didn't give up much. A 2021 third-round conditional and a 2022 second-round pick. So they didn't even break the bank for Carson Wentz into the Colts. And they give up a second and third rounder, which is perfectly fine. I feel like the Rams gave up more to get Matthew Stafford in that deal. And obviously Stafford, he's a little better than Carson Wentz. But I think Wentz could turn things around next season here for this Colt team. And the last couple years, it hasn't been great for Wentz, though. 2019, 4,039 passing yards, 27 touchdowns, 7 interceptions, 243 rushing yards and a touchdown, but 7 fumble losses. So he had 14 turnovers in 2019. Then he was injured once again in a playoff game where he took a bad hit from Jadeveon Clowney, which didn't help the cause. And Carson Wentz, I don't know if everyone remembers, but he was an MVP candidate before he tore his ACL in a game versus the Rams a couple seasons ago. And then last year in 2020, a horrible season it was for Wentz. 26-20 passing yards, 16 passing touchdowns, 15 interceptions, 276 rushing yards, 5 rushing touchdowns, and 4 fumble losses. So the turnovers, they've been an Achilles heels of Carson Wentz. And the Eagles, they had enough, and now the Eagles, they're starting from scratch. They trade their quarterback. Doug Peterson, he got fired a few weeks ago. And now we'll see what Carson Wentz does here for Indianapolis. And I think it's a good landing spot for Wentz with the Colts. He's got good weapons. You got Jonathan Taylor, Nyheim Hines in the backfield, a top 10 offensive line in this league. You also got T.Y. Hilton, Michael Pittman Jr., Zach Pascal. You got Jack Doyle at tight end, Mo Alley Cox. So they got a few weapons there for Carson Wentz. And plus now all his games are going to be indoors when he's at home. So he's going to be on a fast track. He's going to have a decent weapons, and he's going to have a way better offensive line instead of what he had in Philly. So I like Carson Wentz going there. And as far as fantasy football goes, I think Carson Wentz, he could be maybe a top 12 to 15 quarterback this season in fantasy football. Obviously, a change of scenery was needed. The fans, they were getting on Wentz. The front office and head coach weren't believing in him. Obviously, after getting Jalen Hurts in the NFL draft in the second round in 2020. So Carson Wentz lands in Indianapolis, and I think he could be a good quarterback. And he's a player you definitely could target in your fantasy leagues, anywhere from the 13th to the 15th round. We know how deep quarterback is in fantasy football. You know how that goes, and I think you could wait out to one of the last rounds of your fantasy drafts to get Carson Wentz, or even get him on the free agent market after the draft. But I think Carson Wentz has a turnaround season this year, and he's going to prove haters wrong and people who've doubted him with his new ball club, because obviously he's going to be the man over there in Indianapolis and being the starting quarterback. I don't see Jacoby Brissett overpassing Wentz in that. So Carson Wentz traded to the Indianapolis Colts, and we'll see what he could do with his new ball club and for fantasy owners in the upcoming 2021 season.